Hi, welcome to Short Scale Modelling. I've been asked to do a tutorial how I paint yellows and light colours. As most people know, painting yellows can be an absolute nightmare. And I've came up with a little way that I think is quite good to get a level field on yellows. So this is how I do it. So what I have here is the tail end of a Stuka 124 scale size that I'm working on at the moment. This is the Stuka here. So as you can see, the tail end on this variant I'm doing is yellow, as well as the wingtip. Now, most of this I've already primed, and I've primed it in grey. So you can see the nose cone here that I'm building. It's all prime grey. However, grey or the darker colour primes are no good for the technique I'm about to show you. This is why I primed the tail and the wingtips, which are drying so I can't show you them, in white. So this is just a normal white primer. So what you need is your piece, white primer, and ready to go. Make sure it's completely dry. A scrap kitchen towel, your paint, and most importantly, a brush. Now this brush is an old brush, you can tell by the state of it, and I recommend using an old brush because this technique will kill your brush. So as you can see here, the tip, put it to the camera a bit, is pretty much knackered. It's no good to man or beast, or is it? So, what I do, take the paint, get that on a stable base. I just moisten my tip of my brush in water, and then I take my brush, put a tiny bit of paint on, take away any excess, and then apply it. Now what I'm doing here is I'm applying it in very thin circular motions, like this. So you'll run out of paint quickly doing this, but don't be tempted to load up your brush with paint because this will not work otherwise. So I'm hardly putting any pressure on the brush and just making these little circular movements over the area I want painted. And this is the thinnest layer that you can put on with the brush, really. So if you know about painting about thin layers, that's what you really want. So I'm just putting this all over, just doing the edges. The edges are difficult to do a circular motion, so just very lightly drag them, your painter, on one slow motion, like so. Not got too much paint there that time. So then carry on. Now you've got any excess paint on your towel, no need to dump them back into your paint pot, just use what's on the towel and carry on with my circular motion. Now the beauty about this is it dries extremely quickly, so by the time you do another little bit you can go back over the part that you've already painted if it needs another coat. So when you're doing this, you do not want to put any pressure on your brush, because that will change the tone of the paint. So if I start on this side and I stab the brush down like that, you start seeing the streak effects you get from brushing. So you get your paint marks. Also, you don't want that. This is why it's got to be light. If you do manage to get that, just clean your brush on a bit of paper towel again, and then just go over it while it's still wet. If it's dry, then there's not much you can do apart from sand it down. But if it's still wet, you can then go over using a circular motion once more to get your effect. And it doesn't take that long to do as well. And the results are very, very, well, they're there to say really. For me, I think it's almost like airbrushing, the actual results you get with this technique. So just drawing it along that edge again. I mean, obviously, if you're painting on the sprue like I am, when it comes to taking the part off the sprue, you'll have to clean up your edge like you would normally do anyway, but then repaint the area that has been taken off sprue. But if it's thin layers you're putting on, that's okay, because you're not actually got loads of paint to build up. I'm just checking this edge here. That's good. And what I like to do as well is just go over the undercut side of the part. Now a lot of this will be scraped off here before I join the piece together, but it ensures a nice join at the end. So there we go. Now I've done this in real time, so you can see how long it took to do. And that's it. Put a bit of light on it. Now if it looks a bit patchy, this one is slightly patchy here. Wait until it dries. Remember, as I said, it doesn't take long to dry. And then just lightly go over it. Very lightly. I'm basically not putting any pressure on the brush at all. I'm just letting the brush touch the object and doing that to make the brush move. So hardly any pressure whatsoever. So that's how I paint my yellows and whites and thin reds. But the key is a light coloured primer, an old brush, and hardly any pigment on your brush. It's like dry brushing really. It's like putting some weathering on. You just want it very light, and then you can see your effect. And to me it's almost like airbrushing, but because of the thin coats the airbrush puts on. So I'll get this other side done at some point. So I hope you'll got something from this little tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, or indeed if you've come up with a better way to do it, I'd also be interested to hear that as well. So for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.